I went into a nostalgia retreat kind of a thing. Started getting nostalgic for some of the brands that were like big at the time and now they are not. The one actually that triggered the thought was Planet M. I think at one point they had like 150 or so stores in India.
Uncle Chip started in the early 90s. By 1998, there was 71% of market share in the chips category. Lace came in, and in 2 years, Uncle's Chips market share went from 71% to 35%. It was probably the first airline in India that I'd seen that used to have a TV for economy in domestic price.
LML was the company behind Vespa in India. The scooter where, my dad would take me anywhere. They just did not read the market correctly and they essentially faded away. They did not realize scooters ka time khatam ho gaya.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, what's up? so,
What's up? We
okay.
don't have time for what's up. We've got to jump in right into the topic today, Shobhit.
Okay, the thing that I wanted to discuss today was I went into a nostalgia retreat kind of a thing, and I started getting nostalgic for some of the brands, and I thought like I'll just go through like some of the old brands that were like big at the time and now they are not.
I was doing the same, so we can start trading off brands and see, and then maybe like rate at the end of this who has the best brand that they came up with in millennial Gen Z era.
Cool. So the first brand that I think that the one actually that triggered the thought was Planet M.
The place where you buy music CDs.
Yes, the place where you bought music CDs and then later you can buy any kind of media basically. CDs is what they were selling. So you could buy movies there, you could buy games there, like original games. I think they lost that to pirated games, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I was a Palika Bazaar kind of guy, right?
I bought Road Rash full version from Planet M. I think that was like my favorite purchase from there. But it was essentially the one of those places where like you can go and listen to music for free for a very very long time. And I think Planet M is where Crossword copied their model of letting people read the book for as long as they want, and then they can essentially, if they want to buy, they can buy. That is where I think they got the model from, because Planet Time allowed you to listen to whatever music you wanted to, and then if you liked it, you can buy it and take it home.
When did it shut down?
When did it shut down? I mean, so it did not like shut down as a like on a specific date. It kind of sort of started fading away in the background. But I think in 2018 or so is when it actually kind of just closed. Dhire dhire karte 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 it went away. So I think at one point they had like 150 or so stores in India, and these were
Yeah.
like massive stores. Like think Apple Store kind of a experience, but for music and stuff. I think in 2007 or so, they were acquired by a different company.
Bro, I didn't realize that it was started by the Times Group.
Yes, yes, it was
Like
started by
I
the Times Group, correct.
I didn't realize Times Group was doing like physical retail.
Times
Like
Group
when
was in
since
any and every media.
I know, yeah.
So, like, they were the ones who were actually at one point. If you had to buy like original PlayStation games or even PSP games for that matter, you only could get it there. And yeah, I think eventually it also went into selling phones, which is a hard pivot. Videocon Group's retail arm essentially bought it in 2007, and then slowly it sort of faded away. But yeah, it was like the place where you hung out uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
with your friends. I think they were close to like what Virgin Records used to be. Like if you've read Richard Branson's
Yeah, yeah.
biography, that's what he mentions, that the cool kids were hanging out at their record place. But yeah, Planet
No,
M.
I
That's
remember I remember like there was one in the mall near my home, and at least in most of my childhood I was a big supporter of not doing piracy other than video games for some reason. But like I would go and like buy music CDs
yeah.
and then like come home and like upload them to my iTunes and then like download them back onto an iPod. So I remember like doing that like a lot of weekends, like buying like Green Day CDs and Kings of Leon in 2000, like early 2000s, doing all of that. Were you did you buy a lot of music from
I
Panicam,
mean,
or were you more like
no,
video
I,
game?
I I think I bought video game, like that was my
Okay.
highlight. Like that was the most joyous purchase. But then I also used to buy like movies. So I remember, I think in 2006 7 or something like that, they started selling movies for 49 rupees, like original discs, and which was pretty cheap for the time, like because the pirated one you would get for 50. So I'm like, originally lilo, right? I used to buy like a bunch of movies. Like I would basically get like one movie a week, a month, some random movie, some random comedy movie and stuff. I remember buying Aapka Surur, the movie from Planet M. So yeah, Planet M, pretty special place.
Okay, next up, another thing that I'm sure you remember growing up. Shobhit, what were your favorite chips?
I want to say Uncle Chips.
Well, do you see how like in Bangalore you basically don't get uncle chips anywhere?
Ah, yeah, correct. Makes sense. I
Like
mean,
you
they
don't
were there,
see it.
but not
Like
anymore.
it's on Blinkit,
Hmm.
and it's like it's you can get it if you really want it, but it's not like as in your face. Like I remember like outside our school and like growing up, like the blue packets and the green packets you like see all across Delhi. And I don't think it's like as visible. And then I was kind of reading up a little about them, but turns out it's a NCR company. They started in Ghaziabad. I don't
Hmm.
think Ghaziabad at that point was part of NCR, but that's fine. I was not around for like their most famous ad, but like, do you know that
Yes,
ad?
yes. It was Bole Mere Lips. I love Uncle Chips.
Okay, now do you know where the inspiration for that ad came from?
Oh, no, no idea.
It came from President George H.W. Bush's Republican convention speech in 1988 when he said, "Read my lips, no new taxes." And I was like, wow.
Oh my God.
I was not expecting, like, that's a deep cut. I was not expecting.
George. So George H.W. Bush is George W. Bush's father, right?
Yes, yes. And Jeb Bush's father as well. Jeb
Hmm.
Bush is early investor in Ramp
Okay. I mean,
and the governor of Florida.
got
But
it.
like there's this whole meme of him being an investor in Ramp. So Uncle Chip started in the early 90s. By 1998, this is before Lay's had come to India, they had a 71% market share in the chips category, like basically a monopoly. And then Lay's came to India in the late 90s. Like this, all I read up because I only moved to India in 2001, but Uncle Chips used to sell for 7 rupees. Did you know this?
7 rupees. I
Yeah.
think it was five, if I remember, 5 and 10, like
No,
those
no,
packs.
no. No. So Uncle Chips always initially only used to sell for 7 rupees. Lay's used to have packets for 5, 10, 15, and 20. Uncle Chips only had the blue and green,
Yeah.
and Lay's started off with like I think 4 or 5 different flavors. I mean, Magic Masala tha, should say that tangy tomato one, sour cream and onion, and then the salted.
And I,
And
I, I remember specifically the blue version of Lay's would be equal to the green version of Uncle Chips.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah. But like, I mean, I like the green Uncle Chips better because of like the texture was like cooler. Do you remember? Like it was more like
it felt it had lesser oil than Lay's.
100%. But then basically like Lace came in, and in 2 years, Uncle's Chips market share went from 71% to 35%. And there's another big thing that Lay's did that resulted in this. Like, what do you remember late 90s, early 2000s that Lay's started giving with their chips?
Okay, so what
You
I
know,
remember
flavor.
is Uncle Chips used to give Pokemon Tazos
No.
with them. What? No,
Lay's used to give Tazos.
no, Uncle Chips.
Yes.
Yes, Uncle Chips.
Google kar. The Pokemon Tazos were with Lay's.
These guys had bought Uncle Chips, if you remember.
So basically,
Jenga
because they
cards.
destroyed.
Oh, Jenga cards. I remember
Yeah.
Jenga cards. Sorry. not Tazos. So
Tazos was
Pokemon,
Lay's.
Tazos was Lay's. Pokemon Jenga cards were Uncle
Yes.
Chips.
But basically, like in 2 years, they destroyed their market share. The owners of Uncle Chips had to sell to
Free to lay.
Frito-Lay for only 16.6 million, which was like 1x sales at the time. So like, and now you basically like Lay's kind of pushes their own products a lot more, and you don't see Uncle Chips, and that's kind of
Yeah, I
sad.
think plus Uncle Chips was more of a North India phenomena.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, yeah, that is also
so
true.
another food and beverage thing that faded away. I don't know if you would have had it because probably this was before your time, but there was this thing called Gold Spot.
I've my dad talks a lot about it, but
It
I have
was
never tried it.
up now. I don't even remember what it tastes like. I remember thinking, "Wow, this is so good." What happened to Gold Spot was essentially, I think when Coca-Cola came into the country, they're like, we already have a orange soda brand called Fanta. So for Fanta, they basically killed off the brand. It just disappeared overnight, and nobody has tried to revive it. It happened with a few other soft drinks as well. Do you know what other soft drink also sort of faced the similar problem?
I know, like Coca-Cola was trying to kill Thumbs Up,
Yes,
and then they weren't able to because the Thumbs Up pull was so strong. I don't know if like people actually revolted or it's just like you hear of people revolting where like the pull was so strong that Coca-Cola basically had to keep it around.
they tried to kill Thumbs Up in favor of Coca-Cola, and then eventually Pepsi started getting share because of that. So they're like, oh my god, what's going on? They went and did market research, and then they realized, okay, people are asking for Thumbs Up or Pepsi because in their mind these were the two big brands. So they decided to revive Thumbs Up. Thumbs Up is actually more. It has more caffeine than Coke or Pepsi, and it is more stronger.
It hits different.
It hits different. It hits different. Another product that was basically not bought out but kind of sort of died in the drink space was Campa Cola, but it is being revived now by Reliance.
So I
Motorbike.
guess did you also read why like Coca-Cola also bought Limca, right? And they were never able to like kill that. Okay, do you know what is Coca-Cola's best-selling drink in India right now?
Right now, I no idea. It should be Coke, right? Like normal Coca
No,
Cola. Water.
no.
Which is it?
I think it's Sprite, the last I checked.
Oh, interesting. So
Which is just, yeah, you
yes,
don't wouldn't expect, right?
yeah. I don't expect this to be honest. Like, are you sure about that?
I thought I read some. I could be wrong. Not,
Okay.
not
Okay.
fact checked.
People in the comments, fact check us.
Like for some reason, this was in my mind for some reason. I can't remember why.
You're like an LLM right now. You just know the next token. You don't know the reasoning behind it.
Okay, speaking of other things in the early 90s, what was the first TV you owned?
I owned, I think Sharp.
Okay, I have no clue what this brand is.
It's a
But
Japanese brand, yeah.
do you like? I remember when we had just moved to India, Onida was really, really, really popular. Like, do you remember like the Devil and the Onida and that whole
Yeah.
era? So I was then looking a little about the brand because they've kind of basically like I've never seen anyone mention Onida in like the last decade. So I was like looking about it, and it was kind of this family business that started in the 70s. They chose the name Onida because it sounded Japanese.
I think it means something as well, if I remember
I
correctly.
don't know that, but it's like Claude told me they chose it because it sounds Japanese, which makes sense. Like if you look at like the history of Indian brands, people often choose names that don't sound Indian, like Peter England and Van Yuzan and this and that. And so calling it Onida probably cemented it alongside Sony and Samsung and LG. Interestingly, earlier on, they were pricing the TV as being more expensive than alternatives, which kind of made it have a premium positioning in the market. And then that devil ad took off and they got up to like over 20% market share. But then as LED and LCD TV started coming out, I think they just never had them or had great TVs because I don't remember when we at home moved from a CRT to an LCD, but I think it was like maybe 2008, 2009. And at that point, I don't think Onida had those TVs. Like I forget if like our first one was like a Sony or an LG. Like, do you remember what that transition
Yeah, so I
was
think
like
I
for
remember
you?
in 2007 or 8, I think my parents bought a Samsung TV, which was like a wall-mounted TV, and that was like the thin TV. I mean, from today's standards, it looks like a very fat TV, but from the CRT standard, it was like a thin TV. And I think that was the time. I think what happened is they were not able to acquire key technologies. They did not obviously develop LED or LCD. They were not able to acquire key licenses or whatever, and then they were not able to sort of get the products in the market. And the same thing happened to BPL. BPL was another brand which was for electronics, and both of these basically lost to Korean and Japanese wars, electronic boom, and Samsung and Sony basically got on top. LG
Yeah,
was also, I think, a Korean or a Japanese brand.
yeah. LG is also Korean, and what's also interesting was I realized that it also seems like Onida also maybe lost focus because they started making ACs and refrigerators and washing machines. Did you know LG made all this stuff?
Yes,
You did. I was like, I like does
you
not.
you are clearly unmarried.
Yeah, well, fair enough. I mean, but would you ever buy an Onida refrigerator in this era?
No, no.
Yeah, exactly. Now, if you look at the TV wars, it's like all China with TCL and Xiaomi,
Everything
and
has
then
changed
there's that
again.
Indian brand Lucio.
And
So yeah, that was a company I forgot about that.
did
I
you know
remembered why.
do you know Onida is still listed?
It is. It still does 25 crore in PAT. So it's not
So it,
bad. It's not a bad company.
yeah,
It's
it's
just
just not
like
giving returns.
and like it's like just kind of irrelevant. Well, also guess what is the most valuable part of the company right now?
Is it
It's not
the
any of the products they make.
probably? I think they are probably one of the investors in K Capital.
No, it's not that.
Okay.
I don't think like I mean like K Capital started by the founder's son, but I don't think they're like a shareholder in
Yeah,
that. Like at least
probably
the
his
entity.
father is, yeah.
But I mean his father's like being an early angel in a lot of great companies and made money, but as a corporation they have something else that's really, really valuable.
What is it?
The company headquarters, Onida House.
Oh.
It is worth their real estate assets are worth over 100 crore. I mean, I think at one point people were talking about how like Air India and their most valuable asset was the Air India headquarters, which is in South Bombay. It's interesting how like some of these legacy companies owned their real estate and now that's kind of appreciated
Yeah.
so significantly.
I think they're still doing 600 or 700 crores of sales. Wikipedia says $180 million, which seems wrong. And the founder's name is Gullu Meetchandani. He was a Bitsian. And his son started this fund called K
Of
Capital.
course, you and Bitsy.
Yeah, this was
Yeah,
like one of
yeah.
the first people we were told in college that, oh, this guy is from Wales. I was like, okay, that's how I know Nida. Founder's son basically started K Capital, and K Capital is investors in Porter, Healthcart, and stuff, like bunch of big Indian companies.
And your wife used to work at K Capital.
That's how I know all this. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I want to talk about LML. You know
What
what's
is LML?
LML?
I don't know what LML is. It's the first one I think where I'm out of my depth.
Really?
Yeah, what is LML? Like, was it okay? Were they around in 2001?
Okay. Have you heard of Vespa?
The scooter?
Yes.
I have heard of Vespa.
So do you remember Vespa kind of scooter used to be pretty common in India earlier? LML was the company behind Vespa in India. It was called LML Vespa, and they were competing with
Oh,
Bajaj. So if you remember the tune Hamara Bajaj.
I feel like my Nanaji had this scooter now that
Yeah,
I
my
think
dad
about
had
it.
the scooter,
Yes.
LML. So LML Star, I think, was the scooter's name or something. But LML Vespa and all these kind of like these were pretty big in India. They were built in. It's called Lohia Machinery Limited. So LML. So LML essentially, I think, was started in 1972. This was the company for which people used to say like 3 years waiting hai for a scooter and stuff. Uh,
Okay, so this is the
this
ambassador of the scooter world.
yeah, this was like the socialist era scooters. They basically started in 1972. I think they were manufacturing yarn at that time, and then they went public in 78. In 84, they signed an agreement with Piaggio. I don't know how to pronounce it. Piaggio, which
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah, no, that you said it correctly.
Piaggio.
Yeah,
This is
sure.
an Italian company. I think this company was the one that owned Vespa.
Yes, yes.
And so they basically licensed Vespa to LML, and LML started selling it in India. They were pretty big at a time. Even when they were going down, they were doing like 30-40 million dollars a year, pretty consistently. I think they just did not read the market correctly, and they essentially faded away because they did not realize scooters ka time khatam ho gaya. Like, you know,
Yeah, but a
Activas.
scooter, but चल तो रहा है scooter इतना.
I mean, so by scooter, I mean like the geared scooter, the
अच्छा, okay.
one, or even bikes are fine, like, but they just kind of sort of stuck to their own products for a bit longer. And then obviously, this is such a capital intensive business that you tend to take loan, and then you have to pay debt, and if you don't have good sales, your business basically eventually goes down. This was like the scooter where my dad would take me anywhere. So like this was one of those very early brands that I was like, whoa. And at that time, like we would go to like a detailing shop, auto detailing shop, and they would just write the name of the person, owner there, and stuff like that. I think Vespa is coming back in India now. Like it is going through an insurgence. I think thanks to Kunal Shah. He
Yeah,
rolls
yeah,
around in his Vespa. Pretty cute. But yeah, essentially it evokes a sense of nostalgia rather than like a premium or
yeah,
new brand
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah,
because
yeah,
of
I see.
LML.
Well, I do not know LML was a thing, so that is very interesting.
Yeah.
Speaking of other nostalgic experiences, I think the last one I have is this airline. Do you want to guess which one? There's two of them who are very iconic
Two
that
of
no
them are
longer exist.
iconic.
Yeah,
Oh my god. Kingfisher?
yes, the king of good times. Because I remember when like they launched, it was probably the first airline in India that I'd seen that used to have a TV for economy in domestic flights. And
Yes.
that was like really cool. And I was like, oh wow, like even Jet does not have this yet in India. I don't think I flew it very much because growing up, we obviously didn't fly domestically that much. Like my dad was a big Jet Airways fan, so like anytime we had to fly, we would just fly Jet. But I do remember that airline very memorably,
Vividly.
and I'm sad vividly, and I'm sad it kind of went all to shit.
Yeah, I think they were the ones. They were like original owners of RCB as well. I don't know if you remember this controversy back then. In India, you as an alcohol product, you cannot advertise in India. So
Yeah,
what people do is
proxy.
surrogate advertising, right? This is why you have Blue Label soda, and you had some music
Music
cassette,
CD.
music
Yeah.
CD, and like
I mean, I yeah, I remember if you're going down the or like Vijay Malia was like, "Fuck, we're gonna shoot these models, make
yeah,
calendars, and
calendar.
get all these young kids like
Yeah,
so hyped up about our brand because they're
yeah.
gonna see scantily clad naked women."
I don't know if Kingfisher was public, but what eventually started happening was they were making huge losses. So media basically started asking Vijay Mallya that why are you taking such huge losses just for surrogate advertising? Like that was the big deal. and he was adamant about it. He's like, this is not surrogate advertising. I want to run a high quality airline. But everyone thought that they just have that so that they can
Wait,
advertise Kingfisher, the
people thought
brand.
they had people thought they were running an airline to market the beer?
Yes, that was the popular sentiment at the time.
That's retarded. But he was such a G. Like I remember, like he owned Force India at that time as well.
Was it called Force India?
It
Yeah,
was called Force
Sahara Force
India.
India, right?
Well, Sahara came later. It was
Yeah.
Force India, and then Sahara Force India, and then
Sahara is
Force
also, by
India.
the way, one of those brands. I did not know for a long time what it did, but I just
Same,
knew,
same.
I just knew it was one of the sponsors for Indian
Yeah,
jersey as well.
cricket. Yeah.
So,
Dude, and they have this like they had this Sahara Star Hotel
yeah,
at
yeah,
in
it's still
Bombay.
there in Mumbai, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it
yeah,
is. It is. Like, but you like as soon as you land in Bombay and you exit the airport, the first thing you see is Sahara Star Airport. I mean, hotel.
yeah, hotel, correct.
Yeah.
Another brand which is still there, by the way, but it has like significantly gone down or scaled back its operation is Archie's. Do you know what is Archie's?
Oh, the gift shop.
Hmm?
Gift shop.
Yeah, gift shop, card shop. Basically, they were
Uh,
known for selling cards. So they were like, I think
yes.
Hallmark equivalent for India, right? Except they did not have any movies or something like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I think is that the same Hallmark or those two different Hallmark?
Hallmark is the Hallmark, the cards one, no?
Yeah, but Hallmark movies and Hallmark cards is the same company.
Yes. So Hallmark started popularizing holidays like Mother's Day and stuff via their movies
Oh,
because they wanted to sell cards.
okay. Honestly, that I did not know that.
Yo, what? Really?
Yeah, I mean, I thought like like because I've only seen Hallmark cards at like a CVS or like
Yeah,
random
because
grocery stores.
so cards, the culture of gifting cards have sort of scaled back. And I think coming back to Archie's, if I want to wish you, Anmol, for let's say
Yeah,
birthday, what will I do?
buy me a card.
No, I will send you some image on WhatsApp.
You're not gonna send me a card anymore. You can buy a card on Blinkit now.
I mean, okay, but you get the hit,
Yeah,
get the
yeah, yeah.
gist. Yeah, basically, digitization sort of killed Archie's.
I mean, I guess they also just didn't keep up with like upgrading the retail experience or like kind of keeping it modern day, new age with like e-commerce coming and killing them out a lot
Yep,
faster and
yep.
them not going omni-channel.
I mean, I still remember when I was in college, like there was an Archie's, like a shop, not Archie shop, but like a stand where they would sell Archie's cards and stuff. So it was still popular back then. It's just that we stopped posting postcards, we stopped
Yeah.
writing cards, we stopped sending letters, and we switched to digital. And I think that sort of killed Archie's
Yeah.
need as well, actually.
Yeah. No, I mean, I remember they like the mall near home used to have an Archie's. On the
Hmm.
ground floor, it was like prime placement, high footfall. A lot of people used to go in there, and then now it does not exist anymore there in that spot at least.
I would like to give honorary mention to Ambassador Hindustan Motors.
Dude, what a car!
What a car. I
What a
don't know
car!
actually, but the funniest
You
thing I
don't know?
remember,
You've never
no, no,
read in a
I have my grandfather used to work in the government, so that's why I was able to sort of like ride that car. Currently in the cars, the gear is like kafi niche, right? But
ah
in Ambassador, when you're driving, the gear is just here, so you just
yeah
pull it
yeah
up
yeah
down.
yeah.
It was so funniest thing. I remember my aunt was when she was learning to drive. I was also there, and my mother was there, and my mom was like, "कि brake लगाना है या फिर something like that." Like it was some tense situation, and she got वो डर गई एकदम, and she was like, "Oh my god, what do I do?" And she tried to pull the gear, and the gear came off. So, and when we went to the mechanic, they're like, "हाँ मैम ये तो होता रहता है. This is not a big deal. This is a very common occurrence with the car."
Basically, they had like a monopoly on the four-wheel market
Yeah, they were
before
also the
Suzuki.
ones who would be like, "Ki, this is going to take 3 4 years." I think we got the
7
car
years, three, 4 years.
7 years.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
7 years. I think we got the
yeah.
car because it was like a government car, so we basically were leased till my grandfather was working. After that, we did not have that car, but yeah, essentially. This is why this is why we were also able to get it. Another brand that sort of went away. I don't know if you know this, but there was this brand called HMT watches.
They're still around.
They're still around, but they're like nothing as like they're around for the nostalgia factor now. Like that's what
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
people
Correct.
use them for. I think Titan sort of kind of like killed them completely with their execution, I would say. You remember Dalda by any chance?
No, I don't, but I've heard about that. That's the oil butter thingy, right? Cooking oil,
Yeah, it was
cheap
cooking
cooking
oil
oil.
basically. Yeah, cheap cooking oil. I think this was the one with had that jalebi. Have you seen that ad?
No, I have not.
What?
Jalebi.
You've not seen that ad?
Well, okay. Can you give what era this ad is from?
Sorry, that's not Dalda.
I
That's
only started living in
Dhara.
India from 2001.
Yeah, it's like old 90s ad. I mean,
Okay,
like,
I thought
but you should have probably.
in the
But
old
ठीक है, it's.
90s I was not in India.
अरे I mean early late 90s.
How
Sorry.
will I watch? But late
ठीक है.
90s I was not here. How will I watch ads? टीवी नहीं था मेरे पास इंडिया का तो कैसे देखूंगा मैं ads?
अरे I mean, I think it was. चलो ठीक है, fair. But so this was like a very iconic ad, but it was not Dala, it was Dhara. Dhara. But essentially, it was the same thing. This ad was essentially this kid runs away from his from his house,
Dude, this kid
and
looks familiar.
yeah, he acted, I guess.
He's
But
done a lot of
basically,
ads, no?
yeah, he's done. And he basically runs away from his house, and then his grandfather finds him and he's like, "Kya ho gaya?" And he's like, "Koi mere ko pyar nahi karta hai," you know. And then he's like, "Okay, अपन निकलते हैं." But मम्मी ने जलेबी बनाया है, तो she's like, "जलेबी," and then he just goes back home. That's
Oh, honestly, I think I
it.
might have seen this ad.
Yeah, it's a very
Yeah.
famous, like one of those pretty famous ads.
Okay, he's also the kid from Kuch Kuch Hota Hai.
Yes, he's. The ad came after Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, so that's why I was like, कि maybe you would have seen.
Okay, yeah. Well, okay, let's do some more special mentions. Rasna, do you remember Rasna?
Tesla is not around anymore.
I mean, I don't think I've. Have you seen anyone mention Rasna in the last decade?
Yeah, it's only Tang now, right?
Yeah. Or Tang also, like, kids don't really drink Tang because it's too much sugar. It's not actually good for you.
The Rasna was
Uh,
also not good for you.
well, yeah. Nirma,
Nirma, bro, that was my ringtone at one point. It was like
washing. Oh, God.
washing powder, Nirma. My grandfather was like, "तेको पैसा मिलता है क्या इसका?"
Honestly, that's a great way to build brand recall for all of these guys. Hmm.
Ringtones.
No, this is not Indian brand, but there's so many telecom companies like Docomo, Hutch.
Docomo Hutch, yeah. I mean, these were pretty popular. I think 2008, 2009. They kind of sort of consolidated back into Vodafone, and then Vodafone sort of killed it off.
Yeah.
Do you remember this company, Kinetic?
No, what is
So
Kinetic?
there was this scooter called Kinetic Honda. Kinetic and Honda basically are two different companies, and they built one scooter called Kinetic Honda. It was like pretty popular, and then their partnership broke off. So Honda decided to build a new product called, you might have heard this,
Activa.
Activa.
Yeah.
And then Activa sort of killed Kinetic. But Kinetic
Yeah.
was, it was like the first popular button start scooter. So you know
So is
how,
it is it is this also like this kind of era was also like the how Hero Honda used to make motorcycles and then
yeah,
they also split and then Honda thankfully has still survived.
correct. Hero was a
Yeah.
different company. Honda was a different company.
Yeah.
Hero Honda is a different company. And Kinetic was basically the first button start scooter. So before that, every scooter you had to like, पैर से. Have you done
Oh
this?
yes, yes.
Kick मारना पड़ता था. You
Yeah,
remember? You
yeah.
had to kick start
I
the
forgot about
scooters.
that.
So Kinetic was the first popular one actually. I don't know if the first one.
Interesting.
Similarly, there was a scooter called Luna, which was like a hybrid between a cycle and a scooter. So it
Okay.
it used to
Oh.
have like a petrol, like it would run on petrol, but if you run out of petrol, you can pedal.
But
My
like that sounds like it was probably heavy, right? Like pedaling that bike.
ठीक है still. I mean, you can, it's better than just
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure it's better than being stranded.
being stranded, correct.
Was this a time when there was just like petrol, there was like oil shortage in India or something?
I don't think that was the reason, to be honest. Like the timing was that, but yeah, this was called Luna, the scooter, but it was by the company Kinetic, which was part of the Kinetic Honda. I used to think, I was like, "Ye kya hai ye?" Even as a kid, I was like, I wouldn't accept it. I was like, either give me a cycle or a scooter. Like, what is this
Yeah,
beach
yeah,
cupboard?
yeah.
But during the research, I found a couple of interesting stories. So Subhash Chandra, he's called the father of Indian satellite TV. Okay? But back in 1991, broadcasting a private channel in India was basically illegal. You can't do it. Okay. There were only two channels, DD1, DD2. The government had monopoly with Doordarshan, and I think because of that monopoly, by the way, the ads of that time are like so recallable because you had no other option. Like you had to watch it. So this guy Subhash Chandra, he goes to Hong Kong and tries to lease a satellite transponder from this company called Star TV. So he had no license, no advertising, and Star TV basically said, like, they kind of laughed at him. They asked for $5 million at the time, which was insane amount of money because apparently he was just a rice trader at that time. Everyone told him that he'll be arrested or he'll go broke in months. Basically, he signed the deal. He was like, "Fuck it, let me try," and he started broadcasting ZTV from a foreign satellite into Indians' homes. Like, and this was the time when people would put like an antenna and then they would sort of catch waves and try to do that. And yeah, that is how Z basically got started. It was like a pirated TV channel. He became a billionaire on back of like this risky, this audacious attempt.
The
And then
government not try to shut him down?
how? We don't have tech at that point. We do not have technology to sort of shut down a
Block waves?
satellite
Yeah.
sending channel data to the whole of
Well,
India.
that, but like they can use human brute force of sending people to his house and beating
He
him
was
up.
in. I think he went to Hong Kong, and then eventually, obviously,
Oh,
1991. So this happened in 1991, and I think few months later, the liberalization happened, and then everything was up for grabs
okay.
anyway.
Fair enough. That was interesting. I didn't know about that. We spoke a lot about JVs and automobiles and vehicles, but do you know the story of Maruti Suzuki?
I might, but go ahead. Like I think
Well, okay. Do you know who started Maruti?
it was, I think Rajiv Gandhi.
No, Sanjay Gandhi. Well,
Oh,
yeah,
sorry,
close
Sanjay Gandhi.
enough.
Sanjay Gandhi.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
So yeah, it was a Sanjay Gandhi's brainchild, who was Indira Gandhi's son, and she was the prime minister at the time. And he was interning at Rolls Royce in the UK when he came up with this idea. The interesting part of this is he was interning there for 3 years. This is the first time I've heard of a 3 year internship. Um, but then in 1970, he was able to acquire a lot of land for very cheap because his mom ran the government
Of course.
and wanted to build a factory to produce 50,000 cars a year. Honestly, when he was trying to run this company, it did not work at all. In the 6 years he tried to run it, they only manufactured 21 units of cars. And then emergency happened. And then he died in a car crash, in a plane crash,
In
not
a
a
plane
car
crash.
crash.
Yeah.
And then I think the government had to figure out what they wanted to do with Maruti because at that point they started owning the organization. And this is the year 1980 when India only used to produce 30,000 cars annually. Ambassador was the biggest one and the most popular one. And there was a car that looked like an old Fiat car called the Premier Padmini.
Padmini Fiat. Yep.
I've not seen this car, but I'm sure you probably would have.
Yep.
And at this point, the government brought in folks from the Indian Administrative Service to come and run Maruti. And one of the first thing that they were trying to do was working with and talking to European and Japanese automobile companies to come and help Maruti out. That coincidentally led to Suzuki finding about that Maruti wanted to do this, and they showed up in Delhi. That's how Maruti Suzuki was formed, with the government owning 74% of the company and Suzuki owning 26%. And this agreement was signed on Gandhi Jayanti in 1982. And just 2 years later, or just 14 months later, so not even a year and some change, they started rolling out the Maruti 800, which is probably the most iconic Indian car if you've kind of grown up in the 90s or the early 2000s. And I was surprised how cheap the Maruti 8. Like I knew it was cheap, but you know what the initial ex showroom price was?
I think 3 lakhs or 4 lakhs. No,
No, 47,500 rupees.
but this
Like
was
I
when
used to, this was in what is it, in 1980. So I
80.
mean, inflation adjusted, I'm sure it's probably a lot more expensive now. But like when Nano came out, I thought that was like the cheapest Indian car ever. That's very much not the case.
But 47,000 back then is like 10.5 lakhs today, at least at 7% inflation.
Okay, can you do it compared to 2000, compared to the year 2000? Because
Wait, what? 1,81,000.
okay, fair enough. In line with what Nano used to be
Hmm.
when it launched. And it was the cheapest car in India available. It was a massive success. They had a first year production target of only 20,000 units. They got 135,000 bookings within the first 3 months. Is anything in pre-liberalization India? There were there were long wait lists for vehicles. The black market premium for the car was like over 40-50%. So people were paying like over a lakh rupees for this car back in the day. For 21 consecutive years, it was India's best selling car.
800.
Like, yeah, what a run. It only lost the title to the kind of next Maruti entry level car, which was the Alto. Now, Maruti is still India's largest automobile company. I think they have like 40% of market share still. They used to, at their peak, used to have a 60% market share. I think like with kind of the transition from like small cars to sedans to SUVs, they've maybe lost a little down the way, but I think they're still kind of in prime position. Like I really like the Jimny. I don't know if you've seen the
Yeah, I mean, I like the look of it at least.
yeah. I mean, I've never driven one, but it looks like a Thar built for smaller cities
Have you ever driven a car in India?
a long time ago.
Okay.
It's been a decade at least.
You know, this basically cinema was started by this guy called Karsan Bhai Patel. It's a Gujarati company. I think you know, or you might know already. And
Patel and
isn't
Gujarati company, what a concept.
I mean, like it originated in Gujarat. They got like a good market share early on, but then Unilever started selling, I think, surf or something like that. I forgot the Unilever's this thing. And at this point, like the guy was just focused on cash flows. So he's like, sell my stuff, I get money, I buy more stuff, and then sell it again, and just increase my business. Okay, and Unilever started because it was like a global giant. It pushed its distribution a lot, and so shopkeepers basically were like, okay, Unilever is giving us much better incentives and stuff, and we'll start pushing Unilever more than Nirma. This guy got frustrated as fuck. He's like, kuch nahi ho raha hai, and like they're not paying me on time, they're hiding my product in the back. Basically they have like 60 days leverage of cash and stuff. So he's like, okay, let me take a bold risk. ठीक है? He's like, he tells his team, go to every store in India and take our soap back, like bring it all. Like I don't want any shop to be carrying our soap, which is like a suicide if you think about it, right? But he literally fired his entire distribution network overnight. He had zero revenue for like 30-35 days, and he was burning it, and he decided to burn his life savings on TV ad for the products. He's like, I'm not going to do anything, I'm just going to run an ad. And for 30 days he ran the ad, washing powder Nirma.
Like the iconic jingle is
I
that like
mean,
that's when it
probably
came out.
the first version of it, but I'm pretty sure it might
Yeah.
not. But yes, somewhere there. Basically, he had no product which people can go and buy. So people will go to the shopkeeper and be like, sir, nirma chahiye, and shopkeepers would not have it, and they would essentially lose a sale. So then the shopkeepers were like ki, they started panicking. They're like, we're losing money, can you give us the stock? And he's like, sure, but now I want upfront cash. And he basically flipped the power dynamic for himself in just like a month or so. How crazy is that?
Fascinating. So he was like able to like get better cash cycles,
Yes.
but it's insane TV ad.
Plus
Wow.
get people to push their products. I think
Yeah.
another one I remember, the one, the chick shampoo probably, mm, might be misattributing, but essentially what they
Chick
did was,
shampoo.
you know how sachet started, sachet.
Yes, yes, yes.
I think chick was the one that started sachet shampoos.
Interesting.
I might be misattributing, but essentially there was one story, which was the person who was building these products. They're like, tell,
Oh, this brand.
yeah, yeah, it's a pretty famous brand.
But I never. I mean,
Yes.
I've not seen this in like decades.
I'm not sure if it was this brand. Okay, so
Yeah,
might be
yeah,
wrong,
yeah.
might be wrong, might be wrong. But the story goes, the guys were like, we started building the products, but nobody's buying. What do we do? So they're like, okay, bring your wives tomorrow and we'll have a discussion. So like 10 or 12 wives sort of, show up. And then this guy is like, go to every shop and ask for this shampoo, in like, go there one by one, and like, within 10 minutes or so, ask for this shampoo, and then we'll go and try to distribute, because otherwise nobody is accepting the product. And they sort of generated artificial demand, and because of that artificial
Guerrilla marketing to generate.
yeah, yeah. So they basically generated artificial demand, and that's how people were like, the shopkeeper was like, okay, what the fuck is this? Like, why is
Yeah.
everyone asking for it, and why do I not have it? So when they get it, they're like, okay, I need to prominently show it because everyone's asking for it, and because it is shown prominently, it starts selling well. And I think that is one of the reasons that product worked out. I think it is chick. I might be wrong. I also have a great Sanjeev Bikhchandani story. You wanna hear?
Oh yeah, of course. Delhi founder, I'm always down.
Okay, so Anmol, who is Sanjeev Bikhchandani? First, you tell.
Sanjeev Bikhchandani is the co-founder of InfoEdge that owns and operates Naukri.com, Jeevansati.com, Shiksha.com, and a couple of others. And Sanjeev Bikhchandani is also the only investor who has led Series A investments into multiple companies that are now worth over $10 billion.
So basically, he started Naukri.com, I think, in 1997. He bootstrapped it, and I think by 2000 he was making 2.5 lakhs revenue a month. So it's like 30 lakhs ka revenue. And he had bootstrapped it. He was living, as he says, he was living in some random house East Delhi mein kahin pe. On top of that house, basically he had his office. So it was like a very scrappy situation,
Yeah.
like 15,000, 16,000 people who were using Naukri basically at that time. Like he had a small amount of this thing. He was like, I'm pretty confident in myself. Should I figure out, like, what do I do next? How do I basically go ahead and stuff like that? 3 years he grinded without VC money, and he competed with this company called jobsahead.com, which was burning cash on billboards. Like now you don't even know what is jobsahead.com, but apparently it was a thing at that time. Big Chandani was like, God, ICICI Ventures was a company, right? So they were like, we are in India, we want to invest in India.com, because .com in, this is 2000s, now we're talking about 2000s. .com was actually the .com boom, the bubble was at its mania's top, right? So these guys offered him $2 million for 25%, which was 7.8 crores or something like that at that time. He was like, dude, I have 30 lakhs revenue for the year. You're giving me 7.8 crores for 25%. Like, are you crazy or what? He's like, no, this doesn't make sense. He was just about to say no, right? Somehow he got convinced, somebody convinced him, and he was like, क्या ही जा रहा है रख लो. Okay, this number's okay, somewhere else it says 15%, somewhere it says 25%, so like fact check me on that. But essentially 7.3 crores funding,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
on 30 lakhs of revenue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Which is, now you think the valuations are
The
crazy now,
AI
right?
multiples are crazy. Well, yeah.
Correct. So the investor says, just put it in a fixed deposit and park it. Don't do anything. Why do you even need to spend it and stuff, right? Just live off that extra income, and it just buffer. And like finally he agrees. So 8th April basically he gets his funding, And I think 2 or 3 months later, the dot com bubble crashes. Other portals don't survive. And
Yeah,
Naukri had like raised so much money for that time that they were able
yeah.
to ride through it and become like a huge giant that we know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, they're probably one of the earliest examples of a venture-backed company in India because ICICI Ventures was kind of one of the very first, like VC firms in the country. Yeah, that was fun story.
You knew that.
I knew they were one of the first people to raise from ICICI Ventures. I
Hmm.
don't know about the whole competition and the fact that they were able to ride out the wave. But that story also reminds me a little of like the urban company story. In 2015, 2016, you had like all these home services companies pop up. There was Time Savers, there was Homejoy, there was Urban Company. And Urban Company was the only one that was able to raise like more than like 100 million. Everyone else had raised like 5 to 8 million. And then in 2016, the funding market basically disappeared and collapsed, and all the competition died out. And then Urban Company was kind of the only company that was able to survive and thrive, and then over time kind of build up revenues to be able to go public.
Damn.
Very similar, look like
Yeah.
Delhi-based company using capitalism vote.
Let's go back to
Yeah,
Bangalore based company. The last story and then we'll end the part.
Bangalore-based. Yeah.
Bro, it's a nice story just to end it.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
so this is 1993. India has gotten liberalized. Infosys is going public, but the IPO is failing. Like, so in 1993, if you don't hit 90% of your subscription, you're technically like legally
Yeah,
dead. Okay, you have to refund the
yeah,
money and shut down
yeah.
the IPO process. Like, obviously, Infosys needed money, Narayan Murthy needed money to sort of expand the company. Like they had sort of put a lot on the line to sort of do the road shows and stuff. But don't no VC money sort of existed and stuff like that. His house was on the line, like those kind of things were there. So last 48 hours were remaining essentially, and they were in quicksand. Like essentially, they did not have money, and I think they were probably getting maybe they were able to raise like 60% or so. Like they had to reach 90% at least, otherwise the IPO would be cancelled. He's like, what do I do, what do I do? He starts calling like random like VC kind of companies or financial companies outside of India, say trying to sell them, like total cold calling random people.
To
Them,
sell them the IPO subscription.
yeah.
I feel like that's not legal, but like
No,
as
I mean, not
thought.
sell. So, I mean, maybe it is like this is a part of roadshow, right? Like,
No, but you cannot.
no, not random
Um,
people, financial companies. So, think companies
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
Morgan Stanley,
Okay,
like
okay.
Credit Suisse. He eventually gets hold of somebody in Morgan Stanley, and he
Yeah.
convinces them that this software company will be the future of India essentially. So Stanley essentially buys a huge chunk in like within the last 3 hours of the closing window, and the IPO sort of scrapes through with like 100, like just 100% subscription. So he basically survived with that 10% margin only. Uh,
Damn.
yeah, it just paved way to a $200 billion IT conglomerate.
Yeah, well, yeah. No, they're not 200. They're $200 billion company.
Billion, no? Nahin?
$74 billion company.
74, sorry.
Yeah, man. क्या बोल रहे हो? There's only
200.
one $200 billion company in India. That's Reliance.
Yeah. Who would have
Yeah.
thunk like Infosys had to
Cold call.
figure out कि
Yeah.
भाई क्या करे क्या नहीं करे.
I mean, I feel like they've had like a really interesting like history. Like their first physical computer and their internet line took like 2 years to procure, and they really had like imagine like starting a company and like not having internet for 2 years when you're selling software.
Right.
Like you really have like need to grind that out if you have like the guts to do that. So like they've been the incredible
And
company.
imagine selling software before Stack Overflow existed.
Well, I mean, they had so many engineers. They probably had like a lunchroom Stack Overflow.
Yeah, I mean, how do you dissipate knowledge at that time? It's such a interesting thing. Like right now, we have so many
What do you mean?
internal
It's so
tools
easy. Like how was the Ramayana told over?
that was told over centuries and like kept,
Yeah, so you
and that
just
was one story that survived. Not everything that you need to
yeah,
obsession.
yeah.
Anyway,
Uh,
fun episode. Did you like it?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too. So if you like this video, please hit that like button, subscribe to the video, the channel,
Tell
and
us the brand you miss the most.
yeah, and which company story would you like to hear next? We'll hopefully bring that again next week. I think probably we're getting a are we getting a guest next week?
We will try our best to.
Okay. TBD.
TBD.
Otherwise, it's just us. And we'll see you again next week. Till then, bye.
See ya.